Okay, so this is day 2 of solving systems of equations. We're going to talk about substitution today. So substitution is when you replace or you substitute an equation in for one of your variables. In order to use substitution, the first thing we need to do is solve for a specific variable in one of our 2 equations. So looking at these 2 equations, I think this one is probably going to be the easiest to solve for a variable. I'm going to choose x because it looks like it's not that hard to mess with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for x by moving my y over. I'm going to subtract y from both sides. That gives me x equals negative y plus 8. Now that I have what x equals, I'm going to substitute that into my other equation, and we're going to solve for y, and that's only going to be our first step. We got a lot of steps on this train for this one, okay? We got a lot of stops to make, so we're going to plug that in. Negative 3. Now, wherever you have an x, you're going to replace it with your new equation, or negative y plus 8. Now our goal is to just solve for y. Well, negative 3 times negative y is going to be positive 3y. Negative 3 times 8 is going to be negative 24. Plus 2y is equal to negative 14. We need to solve for y, so we're going to plug that, we're going to combine like terms. We have 3y and 2y becomes 5y. And then we're going to add 24 to both sides. And that becomes 10. So 5y is equal to 10. We're going to divide by 5. Y is going to equal 2. That is only the beginning. We've only solved for one portion. We still need to find our x value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 2 to either of my equations, wherever y is, and solve for x. I think this one's going to be the easiest one to plug in because we already kind of solved for x. So I'm going to plug in 2. X equals negative 2 plus 8. Well, negative 2 plus 8 is just 6. We need to write this as a point. Remember, points are always x, comma, y. So we're going to do 6, comma, 2. And that is our answer. So let's look at number 2. We have to do the same thing. We're going to solve for a specific variable. Again, I think I can probably solve pretty easy for x if I were to move this 5y over. So I'm going to add 5y to both sides. If I add 5y, those are going to cancel out, give me x equals 5y minus 24. Now, in my second equation, I'm going to plug in this for my x value. So it's going to be 2 times 5y minus 24 minus y is equal to 3. We're going to solve for y. We're going to distribute the 2. 2 times 5y is going to be 10y. And 2 times negative 24 is going to be negative 48 minus y is equal to 3. Negative 3. Ooh, negative 3. We're going to add 48 to both sides and combine like terms. We have 10y and negative y. That becomes 9y. 48 minus 3 is going to be 45. We still need to solve for y. We're going to divide by 9. Y is going to equal 5. We're not finished yet. We've only found one of our 2 variables. We still have to find the other. I'm going to plug in 5 into one of my 2 equations. I'm going to choose this one. Again, it doesn't matter which one. It should give you the same answer if you did it correctly. So that is our y value. We still need to find our x value. So if I do 2x minus 5, I'm plugging it into this one, equals negative 3. Well, we have negative 5, so we're going to add 5 to both sides. That gives me 2x is equal to 2. We're going to divide by 2. X has to equal 1. So we have our x value and our y value. We are going to write it as a point. You always start with your x value, and then you finish with your y. And that is going to be your answer. Looking at number 3, Y seems to be the easiest to solve for, so that's the one I'm going to choose. We're going to solve for y in this one, and I'm starting to overlap, but it's okay. I'm going to add 7x to both sides to get y by itself. That gives me y equals 7x minus 15. We're going to plug this into our y value of the other equation. So we're going to do 21x minus 3 times 7x minus 15 equals 45. Negative 3 times 7x is going to be negative 21. Negative 3 times negative 15 is going to be positive 45. If we combine like terms, that gives me 0, or 45 equals 45. 45 does equal 45. Because it equals 45, if these two numbers are the same, it's going to be an infinite number of solutions. Or you can put all real numbers. Either one of these will work. Infinite number of solutions or all real numbers will give you the correct answer. Let's look at number 4. We have a few more we're going to go through. I might jump around. We'll see how it goes. We're going to solve for one of our variables and move on from there. So looking at this question, we're going to do 4, 6, 8, and 10. That'll probably be our last set. These are the ones we're going to do. So looking at number 4, we're going to solve x. Looks like it's the easiest to solve for. So I'm going to subtract 4y so we can get x by itself. X equals negative 4y plus 6. Now I'm going to plug in this equation for my x value because we know that's what x has to equal. So it's going to be negative 7 times negative 4y plus 6 minus 4y equals 6. I'm going to distribute my negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 4y is going to be positive 28y. Negative 7 times positive 6 is negative 42. We're going to add 42 to both sides. That gives me 48 is equal to 28 minus 4, 24y. We're going to divide by 24. Y has to equal 2. We know what our y value is. We need to find our x. I'm going to plug it into either of these equations, probably the bottom one because it looks like it's the easiest. I'm going to plug in 2 for y and solve for x. X plus 4 times 2 equals 6. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. We're going to subtract 8. X has to equal negative 2. So our point is going to be negative 2, 2. Looking at number 6. Well, we already have it solved for y. So we know y is going to equal 1. We just need to figure out what x equals. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in 1 for our y value in our other equation. Well, negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. We're going to add 5 to both sides. Eight equals negative x. We're going to divide by negative 1. X is going to equal negative 8. So our point is negative 8, 1. Because we already knew y equals 1. We got 2 more examples unless you guys want more. If you need more, let me know. Looking at number 8, again, we are going to solve for one of our specific our variables. I'm going to choose the top one because it looks easiest to work with. So looking at the top one, I'm going to either solve for x or y. This time, I think I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. If I add 3 to both sides, that gives me negative 4y is equal to 3x plus 12. We're going to divide by negative 4. Remember, when you divide everything. Those are going to cancel out, give me y equals negative 3/4 x minus 3. Now we know what y is. We're going to plug that into our equation. Oh, this is going to be pretty. 4x minus 7 times negative 3/4 x. Sorry, oops. Minus 3 equals 21. We're going to distribute our negative 7. Negative 7 times negative 3/4. 7 times 3 is 21 over 4x. And negative 7 times 3 is positive 21. I'm going to get all the x's on one side cleared off before we do anything else, so I'm going to subtract 21. Ooh, this is a long one. I might need another piece of paper for the second one. These are going to cancel out, leaving me with 4x, positive 4x, minus 21 over 4x equals 0. I don't like having fractions, so I'm going to get rid of my fraction. To get rid of your fraction, we're going to multiply both sides by the denominator of your fraction. In this case, it's 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 21 times 4 over 4 times 4 is negative 21x. And 0 times 4 is 0. Negative 16x minus 21 is going to be negative 5. We're going to divide by negative 5. X is going to equal 0. We know what x is. We still need to solve for y. We're going to plug that into one of our equations. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose this one. So x is 0, so we're going to do 4 times 0 minus 7. Y equals 21. I'm going to break that off. 4 times 0 is 0. So that leaves us with negative 7y equals 21. We're going to divide by negative 7. 21 divided by negative 7 is y is going to equal negative 3. So our point is going to be 0, negative 3. And our last question, I'm going to use a piece of paper because that was a bit of a mess that time. We need to solve for one of our variables. Looking at these two equations, I'm going to solve the top one for y. So I'm going to start by solving for y, and 5x plus 3y equals 18, and negative 3x minus 8y is equal to 14. For the top one, I'm going to solve for for y.